Phylactery / Conda is also kind of a item way too expensive. So that's also not really... That's why also the Shadow Shaman is super popular. And one thing I do hate is that you need to buy Quelling Blade when you play against Nature's Prophet. So seeing Shadow Shaman with Quelling Blade, for example, it does trigger my PTSD. I'm like, man, Shadow Shaman, he's going to be stealing some of my CS. That's just pub experience.
Gotta let a couple go, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's the tax. It's the support tax. But they are trying to wrap around here on Xtreme, but don't quite find anything. And they did place just a ward on the high ground while they were coming over this way, both over in mid and in this little jungle area by the steps. So giving them some decent vision on anybody who might be coming from bottom over to mid. Don't hate that. And how's this matchup go? XM against Ori, the Queen of Pain against the Storm.
I just wanted to check real quickly. Yeah, he did go for Bondage Facet, which seems to be the better overall facet on Queen of Pain. So this is a, I would say, old/new type of attack, where Queen of Pain back in the days, you could have Blade Mail, you could lifesteal off of your Blade Mail, makes you super tanky. Kind of an item that she needs. With the other facet, you do go for Dagon, but this is the one that seems to be more popular nowadays, and I've seen it in action. It feels really, really strong. So you can blink in, pop that Blade Mail. You have a good amount of lifesteal as well, and reflecting that damage as well. You can also lifesteal off of pure damage and magical reflecting that. So that's really nice. But Ori immediately starting to put some pressure. Shadow Strike level 1.
And we'll see how Ori does. Definitely, I will say Ori, to me, on previous teams, felt a little shaky towards the end of his tenure in that career. And, you know, the Azure times that he spent, it felt like maybe he needed to be a little bit more informed. But he's going up against XM, who has felt like one of the strongest mids, not just in China, but just kind of in general. He needs to be very careful about how he plays this one now. And then up top, you've got Yang and Kaka here in a Timber Earthshaker lane that doesn't exactly feel like it's destined to get that many kills unless somebody's really out of position.
Yang is going for killer build, Timber Chain, Whirling Death immediately. Shaker early on doesn't provide you with that much, so it's not going to be as easy. But maybe if he manages to get a good block off on Colosun, could be enough. This is the lane, as we talked about, to the bottom, where XXS shouldn't have any issues. Also, the problem in this lane, the multiple action happening.
Yang's in trouble, and he's gonna die as well as Paparazzi. So 2 kills, 2 lanes. Feeling really good for the side of Xtreme Gaming.
Problem in this bottom lane is they don't have a spell that stops Shadow Shaman from casting his spells. Like, you want to have some kind of a silence, some kind of a stun. Like, giving him 3 shackles in every single fight, not getting interrupted, is a pretty big deal. And also giving free lane to Bristleback. Like, sure, you have some good pure damage coming out from Timbersaw and Queen of Pain ulti, but other than that, it still feels like a very, very good Bristleback game, especially with the start that he's having.
My mind kind of thinks that maybe Vici could have thought about swapping the support lanes, throwing Earthshaker bottom to disrupt the Shaman, and then
worse. And again, they're going in on Spectre. Yeah, I mean, Shaker doesn't do anything. He's basically a Fisher at early levels.
In some trouble. I think Paparazzi's very dead.
Very dead.
Yeah, Viscous Nasal Goo and the Quill Spray just absolutely blowing him up. There's nothing to stop that. I mean, that's the only reason I'm thinking Earthshaker bottom is literally just a fissure to stop these heroes from chasing a little bit.
Ooh, DY.
But yeah, it wouldn't feel that it wouldn't feel that great.
No. DY TP to the mid lane, stole the rune from XM. So that's something.
Getting himself a little bit of juice. But XM on the run. Ori doesn't have a blink, and he could throw a Shadow Strike, but DY does have Sprout. He's under tower. I don't really think we see XM die here.
Nah, he's fine. He's definitely fine.
Yeah,
It's just that,
5% chance he dies.
Vici Gaming, they are not fine with this type of a draft. This is also a very slow draft. It needs to be a lot on Ori, who needs to make the space. And now that I'm thinking about it, these guys have been missing in action for a really long time. You'd think they read every single patch note. Maybe they've been playing pubs, but something can slip through definitely if you're not playing every single patch. And we can see some of the weaknesses in their draft already, where this bottom lane does feel like a disaster. Spectre's also not a hero that can make an easy comeback by any means. This is not a flash farming hero. You want to get to level 6 with the Twisted Knife, so you want to start getting more active. But in terms of farming, it's really not easy for Spectre.
And I don't think it's going to get much easier for the Spectre either. Like, this lane just feels so difficult, and Ori's going to have to make rotations, but his lane has to go perfectly for him to be able to do so. You kind of just have to stop the bleeding in these side lanes, which might be a little bit easier said than done. Paparazzi level 2 and just kind of sat AFK
Spectre
for a
game.
second. Oy.
Lane is pushing in though.
Ukaka, very dead.
Basically solo kill here.
Yeah, this is another lane where, I mean, we've seen it. Ame, with Pelosin right in the face of these two heroes on Vici, like, Ame is just throwing some right clicks in with these frost arrows and has been putting out free damage the entire game so far. I mean, he has not been stopped really at all, and Ame's having a free one, and that's never something you want to hear if you're the other team.
Dry Ranger is really strong in terms of the laning, the harassment that you're getting, pretty much like a Viper, but Kaka's playing around the mid lane. Maybe they're thinking about getting the dive onto Storm Spirit, not allowing him to pick up the Water Rune again, so that's pretty big. So XM, he will need some kind of a help, some kind of stacks that he can fall back to, because Ori right now, he is sitting at 23 and 10 compared to Storm Spirit, who's at 19. If you can get a good fissure block, maybe this is going to be the opening.
They're thinking about setting DY in there as well. He fainted a TP for just a second, but XM's going to have to step a little bit further forward for them to do that. And that's the difficult thing. He's kind of aware of the situation. And that sends Kaka up towards the bounty room. But now they've got the shackles onto this Spectre. And already, you look, 6 stacks of the viscous nasal goo. There's not really much Paparazzi can do but hide under the tower.
Minus 11 armor underneath the towers. So basically minus 13. Because armor does, like, you get 2 extra armor from the tower. XXS, once he gets to his Vanguard, he's pretty much unkillable unless they rotate Tiver's on Bane or brings 4 heroes. Because right now, it just doesn't feel like they have any kind of damage. This bottom lane is just a complete disaster for them. Your carry is sitting at 14 CS compared to the enemy carry who's sitting at 32 and 10. So having almost the same amount of denies as you have lasted, which is never a good sign.
No, never is. We'll say that both those heroes didn't die over bottom, so at least there's that. That's like the small positives to pull from the lane at the moment. I think at least staying alive at the moment for the side of Vici is a net positive, because again, they're fainting this TP over towards mid, thinking about going for XM, because if you want to get XM, it has to happen pre-6. And they actually might just find the Shadow Shaman who came over. Snag that illusion rune and throws the shackles on a DY, has the hex as well, but eventually this will be a dead Shadow Shaman, and Ori will get credit for the kill and put the side of Vici on the board.
That's something at least. They managed to stabilize the game a little bit, but this Spectre, she needs a lot. Also, she might be the one getting the XP from the Wisdom Rune, considering how things are going right now. Another Shadow Strike, didn't dodge it this time.
Yeah, Paparazzi's level 4. Oof. XM, now that he's level 6, it's a lot harder of a kill to get. And speaking of Paparazzi, he is down bottom, hexed up, killed off XXS with another one. I mean, they're under the tier 1 with no fear. There's really not much that's there to stop them, especially Kaka's showing mid. There's a little bit of mana left on XM, and they're trying to hold for a fissure. They'll use that sonic wave. They've got the jump forward. Ori gets the kill, taking out the storm spirit. And Vici with another kill, but it again is at the cost of the life of Paparazzi, who is getting nothing bottom.
What do you mean he's getting nothing bottom? He just got 2 CS under the tower. Also, they used the opportunity. You said that the Kaka was showing in the mid lane. Yang was sitting at half HP, so they knew that they can't really make a move. They've been showing way too many heroes. Some of them were low HP. And now Spectre, level 4. This is going to be a rough one.
All they want for Paparazzi is to get to level 6 so they can have Ori going for ganks and Paparazzi maybe coming in for like the carry impact of one right click that gets the kill. Just find a way to get Paparazzi back into the game, but that all starts with him getting level 6, and he is still so far away from that. The saving grace right now is Ori. He's had a really good mid lane. Like, he is ahead of XM. You know, I spoke a little bit too soon, saying that he was potentially the weak link, or has been previously when he was on Azure. And right now, he looks pretty clean. I mean, this is a really good game from him so far. Yeah. Problem is, both side lanes for the side of Xtreme Gaming have had more than perfect lanes.
He desperately needs that level 6, but they also can't leave him alone.
No. Sprout really doesn't do much. They've got these quelling blades ready. They've got the Hex, and now they'll go to the Shackle. They'll try to get a kill on the DY. I mean, Paparazzi is here, and they are going to try and get a kill, at least on his InQ. They'll lose DY, and they need one more right click. It'll be split between them, the TP out from the Bristleback, and XXS is away, as Yang even makes the TP rotation towards bottom.
Just TP out. They have only 1 stun available, and that's going to be coming out from Earthshaker. Now, there was a trick question that I read on Reddit a couple of years ago. How many stuns does Earthshaker have?
Hold on. Hold that thought. DY is very dead in the top lane. XM getting credit for that kill. He's now level 8. How many stuns does Earthshaker have? 4?
What is that?
I was thinking. I'm thinking. Come on.
You saw 4 abilities. You're like 4. I mean, because Echo Slam is not a stun. Ned is Enchant Totem.
Yeah.
Technically.
They're going to get a kill here onto the Timber. Easy throw down these Serpent Wards and go for the tier 1. All right, so what's the answer?
I don't know what the answer is. It's a trick question that doesn't have the real answer.
You're making fun of me saying 4. You don't even have an answer. You don't even know if 4 is wrong. XM getting away, but Paparazzi wants this. Needs one more right click. Even committing under the tier 2 tower, he will stop at nothing. Even taking so much damage from that tier 2 tower, but immediately just TPs back home. I mean, that's exactly what they want. Level 6, Shadow Step, get a kill. Especially one on XM that pays well. So wait, you're telling me the thread didn't have an answer?
Well, it depends the way you look at it.
Well, did you even read it?
Yeah, it was so long ago. I just remembered the question. I didn't remember all the answers in the thread.
That's fair. Valid. Looking over at XM. So many X's on this team. XM, XXS. XinQ, he's got an X in there. Xtreme Gaming, that's got an X on it. There's teams of X's.
And on the other side, a lot of ex-professional e-gamers as well that did retire. And now they make a comeback. It's nice to see. Things are not going too well for them right now, but this is going to be double Blade Mail strat in terms of uncontrollable damage against Raw Ranger. Pretty nice. Bristleback. Green Bristleback is not that big of a threat.
Kaka not able to survive, but Ori gets the kill, and I believe, yeah, Paparazzi was trying to shadow step and get the kill on that one. Not able to get the last hit. Tried though. Exactly what they wanted.
The runes for Ori.
Yeah,
very
and
nicely
it's
so
allowed
far.
Ori to have such a good game. He is second in the net worth. Considering the game that XXS had, the fact that Ori has higher net worth and all, it's only like 100 gold. But I mean, that is still a visible positive for Vici.
This is the first active rune that XM did manage to get. Kate is available. Another Shadow Shaman wards will be dropped. So even though this is not Giga Ward, it still allows you to go for the towers, of course. But Giga Ward is just way too good. Like Fog, he sold me on this. I was not a believer, but he showed me that this facet can be good.
Stupendous.
It's impossible to kill it. It deals insane amount of damage. Like if you if you are trying to fight next to Giga Ward, you get hit if you have any kind of minus armor, which they definitely do in this lineup with Bristleback and ET. Like this lineup actually scales really well into the late game. How's Paparazzi doing? He's doing okay, better than Yang, who's only sitting at 4,000 net worth right now. I mean, he's been left alone. Kaka has been roaming around playing with Ori. And speaking of that, they're going to pick her up one more time and try to make something happen.
Yeah, might find Pelosin. And they'll have Shadow Step ready. I mean, that is the move. They'd love to find the Drow, and they have drawn the line on where Drow should be farming, but Ori is going to spot Pelosin instead. So the Shadow Step comes out. They'll look for the sleep, and Yang's the one who gets credit for the kill again. And Paparazzi does jump out of there. XXS taking a lot of damage. The fissure comes through, and Ame, they've got DY sneaking behind and got the spout out of this Drow, and a Sonic Wave comes in. They get the kill on Ame. There's the Echo Slam. XM Ball Lightning trying to run the Shackles Connect onto Yang, so he's going to be stuck still. They got the kill to Kaka. They'll take out Yang. Ori the blink over looking for XXS, trying to get a kill here. But XM still with him. Not a lot of mana, but Ori not a lot of
killed
life.
himself on the blade mill.
Neutral Creep gets Ori. That was almost best case scenario for Ori there. DY is going to die.
Not too bad of a fight for Vici Gaming. I mean, they managed to kill Drow Rangers. Sure, Ori died to neutral creep, so that's a big chunk of gold and XP that did get denied. See the gold change. Still in favor of Xtreme Gaming.
But it could have been even worse if Ori dies there to a hero.
Yeah, definitely could have been. But this, like the lifesteal, it makes him super tanky. Lifestealing in the middle of a fight. Also, you could see Storm Spirit. He was trying so hard. Like, I love that Ori is basically a ward. He blinks in and sets up vision for his Spectre to jump in and get the kill immediately. And then they're going to start to play slightly more aggressive, maybe a little bit too aggressive. Sure, they're going to be getting the kill on Ame. This Echo Slam didn't really do that much. This is level 1 Echo Slam also with only 1 point in Aftershock, so it doesn't deal as much damage. But yeah, this is the big one.
The thing that's really, and I can't believe, God, I can't believe a neutral creep got that.
I gotta find Shadow Creep to see how much damage he actually has. This is pretty
Seriously,
ridiculous.
that was such a low amount of damage to get that kill, and now DY is getting credit for that kill. But again, at the beginning, of course, they have Paparazzi there who helps them get the ET, but that's everybody from Xtreme really showing up for that fight. And it kind of favors, I would say, at least a little bit, Vici, taking what we can get here. And I think that's a little bit of a sign. Oh, Ame is completely blocked. Great fissure from Kaka. And they leave the kill for Paparazzi. Kaka might just die. Already 5 stacks on the Viscous Nasal Goo, so he is very vulnerable and very dead. But another kill on Ame, who had a free lane, and they're starting to slow down the Drow and starting to really lift up this Spectre.
Ame's still on top of the network, but you can feel the lack of his defensive items. He doesn't have Pike, he doesn't have Mantis Style, basically rushing his Aghanim Scepter, which is great against Timbersaw. It's an insane amount of damage, stopping the healing, but might need something defensively.
BKB for Ori soon. Blade Mail, BKB. Just looking around here, and things have kind of slowed down a little bit. I would say Vici want to play aggressive, but for Xtreme, they want to just sit and farm, it looks like, which is a little bit surprising, I would say, considering you've got a Storm that might want to just ball lightning, pull, and get some kills here. But they're also now thinking about Roche.
Power of Shadow Shaman. Gives you insane amount of damage. You have minus armor coming up from Bristleback. And yeah, did check. Setter had 17 damage, and he managed to get the kill. This is also, it was 17 damage pre-reduction. Queen of Pain sitting at 33, no, actually 49 physical resistance, so her HP must have dropped to like 8 or 9, which did manage for Satyr to get a kill.
That's crazy math, and I appreciate that so much. Can't catch me doing that kind of math.
Oh, you can. It's just a confidence. You can lie. It's actually okay to lie from time to time.
Now
like
I don't know if you're telling the truth.
Once per game, not once per series. Once per game, you are allowed to tell one lie. This is what Total Guy taught me when I was getting into casting job.
DUI TPing in, and that is going to be Paparazzi making the jump, looking for the kill, and that will be Yang with the whirling chakram to get that at least one, but they're trying to turn this DUI very vulnerable. Ame now jumped right on top of Yang's here with Ori. The Sonic Wave comes through, but Ori is dead for the life of Ame. They will shackle up and lock down Yang, and eventually they'll get this kill. Not sure how worth it that ends up being, but they are really just trying to put in the moves to get Paparazzi anything out of the map. And with Kaka found, this is going to be a 4th kill and a triple for XM.
XM holding the Aegis, having regeneration rune. You can see the power of this Queen of Pain, like how much she's life stealing in a bit of a fight. She pops the Blade Mail, has Essence Ring as well, makes her super tanky. It's just that it's not enough. Like, you could tell that they're definitely lacking some of that damage. With 2 Blade Mails, they are returning quite a lot, but still doesn't feel like it's enough. Ahmed dead again. Ahmed has been involved in 10 out of 17 kills, mostly dying before he manages to get any kind of kills, but yeah, definitely needs a defensive item.
It needs something to survive a little bit more. Serpent Words come out again, and now they're going to make the jump. There's the Chakram thrown forward, but XM going to the back line, looking for DY. Echo Slam is down. They've got the extra follow-up, and XXS is going to be dead. But they've got Paparazzi in a bad spot. He'll fall, so does DY. And this is falling apart for the side of Vici, as again, XM just looking to clean up everything that he can. Another triple kill, but they'll take out Polosin, and XM in for more. He's got the help of Ame, who hits the silence. They get the kill to Kaka. XM survives again with a sliver of health.
Didn't even lose that Aegis, so we'll have that for another 2.5 minutes. He's doing quite a lot of work, almost 5,000 damage coming out from him in the previous fight. Ame again deciding to show up. Bristleback could have maybe lived if he had, like, look at his mana. He has 149 out of, and needs 1 mana for pipe that he didn't use in the previous fight. Could have made the difference. If he popped that before Echo Slam, maybe he could have lived long enough to get another round of spells, get his magic stick. But it's the game of numbers and unluck.
And currently the low numbers have been what has changed this game thus far. And XM ball lightning all the way in, looking for that high 5, as he is now godlike in this game. And this is right as the Shrine is about to spawn.
If he is not playing close to the Earthshaker, they literally have 0 stuns. They have nothing to stop him with. As long as he has enough mana, should be able to get out of the trouble. Yang is having a rough game. Like, this is usually what you get at like 15-ish minutes on Timbersaw, Blink Dagger, Kaya, and you're ready to jump in, blow somebody up, and he just blinked in aggressively. Yang.
Woo. That was close. Closer than I thought it would be.
If he died there, that might have been his permanent retirement.
Now Chakram still chasing, and they are chasing Paparazzi. Popping that Blade Mail. They're not going to continue to dive any deeper than that, but kind of unaware to the fact that really Paparazzi was pretty alone. That was a gift almost for this Spectre, who's still just trying to find. I mean, has Blade Mail, has Manta, but it's not the best when you look at where the net worths are. Xtreme are up 11,000 gold.
Yeah, considering everything, I'd say that he's still in a relatively good spot, especially who was his laning partner and how the game started. We can check the number of camps. 16 camp stack on Xtreme Gaming, 8 on Vici. Okay.
Ooh, Echo starting Shadow Step and the Sonic Wave, all that committed to try and get Ame, but he is alive and turning this around. He pops that BKB, 4 heroes dead on the side of Vici in what was an attempt to try and get a kill onto the Drow Ranger, but they come up with nothing.
All these small things again. Dota is the game of numbers, making him survive. Has power treads on strength, pops the BKB, 2 points in attributes as well. Didn't max out his gust, and also having poor man's shield with mystical, so he had extra 10 magic resistance, which did make a lot of difference in that fight. He gets the BKB off, poor man's shield, some damage block coming out from it. Swaps
See it again.
Yeah, you could see it. He swapped the strength treads immediately, which did make a lot of difference. Got the Pavis, doesn't need to care about the Blade Mail, and he pops the BKB, and suddenly... Like, they were so close to getting that kill, but even if they do, they were still going to be losing the fight.
That hurts Twitter, man. Close to getting 2 kills in that exchange. They're just falling too far behind. And they've been, from like minute 3, they've been on this plan to just buy some time and get Paparazzi in a position to feel like he can do some damage. But he's, I mean, it seems like 2 items away from that, or he's kind of fallen down back to reality from the game that he had. And there really hasn't been much from Yang, I would say.
Yeah, it's either yin or yang for him. And this time it's no good. 2
No,
and 5.
not at the moment.
He's involved in 50% of the kills, but you can definitely see hero damage coming out from the 2 carries, 14,000. Like Spectre, considering everything, I already said that she's doing fine, but the rest of the team, like Kaka's not having that great of a game either.
No, not really.
Ori show.
This isn't exactly the big Kaka hero that I would know, but we'll see now where with BKB or Squitter flies through, and they are going to Shadow Step. They will get a kill here out of the Shadow Shaman. They even find XM, but they just don't have the follow-up lockdown, and we'll even pop that BKB to make sure that he can get away.
Still managing to fight back even with 15,000 deficit.
Yeah, it's a lot behind him, and they only get themselves a support, but at least it's something. It's gold in the pocket of Vici. Problem is, they're going to need a lot of gold. And we'll see if they even have that ready to go. Ame, who had died 3 times, kind of in consecutive timing. Almost at 18,000 net worth, very far ahead of the side of Vici. Anybody on the side of Vici? But he had a free game to start. Picked up that Ags, went into the BKB, has this Hurricane Pike, and there's no real way. I think that I see them killing Ame unless he is really, truly alone. And even then, popping that BKB makes him pretty free and pretty stable to fight back.
I mean, the first time I saw somebody pick up this talent on Drow Ranger was Pure a couple of months ago. Level 20 on Drow Ranger, 50% gust self-movement speed. You're basically hasted in a fight.
That's pretty important, honestly, against this team that wants to get some good positioning. They'll go again. We'll find the Shadow Shaman. Yang getting a kill on this one, and it's another jump from Paparazzi. This is something that they wanted to do I would say, a little bit earlier in the grand scheme of this game. However, for the moment, it has really not been like that for them. Things a little bit quiet, I would say. Overall.
Waiting for Roshan to respawn. This is the next big timing for Xtreme Gaming. They're gonna finish Aghanim Scepter. Sorry, Lincoln's here on Drow Ranger. It's still pretty early for me. 11 a.m.
Oh, so early.
Wake up fully.
You gotta have your coffee.
Now, I'm just teasing Decop because it's like 5 a.m. for him. And I want to complain that it's early for me.
XM, by the way, 23 Galvanized stack. Quite the number there. An extra 7.4 in the mana regen. We've seen him get away with a sliver of health and mana before, but he is ready to go and gets the best rune, the regen rune. And again, going for Roche.
How does Storm always get some indirect buffs? I'll hold that thought. Let's see if maybe Vici Game is going to be able to take that fight Roshan down to half HP already.
This is going to be close. DY going in. There's the sprout. Nobody can get the Aegis. It's on the ground alone. Oh, he's going to snatch it. DY's dead. Ame falls. He's got no drow. They're going to look for the Shadow Shaman and Vici with a Hail Mary play here, starting with DY. They get themselves an Aegis. They get the kill on the Drow. The BKB is going to be popped by XM. They look like they're going to be able to kill on a Yang, and that Earth Splitter's huge. Big damage there onto Yang. They take out Uri's first life. They can use that Aegis, but they're going to look to get a kill on XM, and they just can't do it. They'll find the Elder Titan, Baka, gone to XXS, but still the TP right in the face of this Spectre, but not going to be able to pull it off. DY buys back, but is dead again. XXS with a double kill while they try to ignore him, but he does get a couple under his belt.
That was such a massive play coming out from DY. Comes in, uses the blind sprout, and blocks off the Drow Ranger from picking up the Aegis, which does allow Queen of Pain to jump. I mean, this one also could be on XM. I think they wanted to give Aegis to Ame and XM. Not sure where he was. We'll probably going to be seeing that fight one more time, but I think he needed to zip it. He had good like 2-3 seconds to be able to react to what's happening and try to snatch the Aegis of his own. But Ori dies. Still, Ori's dealing insane amount of damage. If we could check the damage numbers so far dealt by the heroes, I think Queen of Pain is definitely going to be up there.
Yeah, Ori doing everything he can in his will. Try and drag Vici into a competitive game here. Let's take a look at the replay. So we'll see. I mean, XM's at the top left. He's got time, but he actually zips to go to get DY instead.
That was a big mistake. Like, this is 5 profit we're talking about. This hero's dead anyway, sitting in the middle of a fight. Doesn't deal that much damage. Not going to be able to get like multiple spells off. It's not that big of a threat, but still, Xtreme Gaming, 17,000 gold lead for them.
I say uh-oh, but it's actually the Shadow Shaman is dead. Yang might be in a little bit of trouble. The Twisted Chakram thrown out, but XM has a lot of mana to work with. They look for Ame again, and they'll pop that Lincoln's. The BKB is popped.
No Nightfall
and now
available.
Ame might be in trouble. Sonic Wave.
Fail. Yeah, didn't see that one.
They're still going in, and they want this. There's the blink, the Echo Slam, no BKB, and on his hit again. They take him out, but look for Pelosin, who's trying to get a sleep off, but unable to do so. Kaka's stopping the TP, thinking about going down for XXS, but do they have the control? Do they have the damage? Paparazzi needs to be a little bit careful. The Viscous Needs will do is stacking up, and he is in some trouble, but he's got himself that Manta style, and now XXS, who just reigns so strong, so tanky, unkillable. Eventually, they will find DY, who will end up dead to XM.
A bit of a weird fight from Xtreme Gaming. Ame, he continues to die, even though with all these defensive items, it doesn't feel like it's good enough. And Spectre, you can now feel that Paparazzi is actually doing quite a lot of damage. Scotty completed, so that's actually 35. Like, Scotty has been rough. It's 35 stats, so that makes you super tanky, and it's also very good against Bristleback. XM is in.
Ori. Wow. Yeah, they really just made the jump in. XM, he's not afraid. He's beyond godlike. Knew he heads into there. And the rest of his team, and they're going to get another one beyond godlike. XM is having a game. He has thrown down the gauntlet. He is 12-2-12. I mean, the guy just has not really felt bad in this game since the laning stage ended. He had a little bit of a tough time pre-6, but since then he has been off to the races.
The rest of the team trying to, like, he's balancing it out. The rest of the team trying to throw the game as hard as possible, but XM, he's pulling on his side even harder. He's like, you guys are not going to be able to do what you want. Having a blast of a game. 12-2-12. They have more than enough damage. XXS is also having a great game. Sitting at 4,000 HP. Even though in theory they should be having, like, with the heroes that they do have, with Timbersaw, with Scotty now, Spirit Vessel, that regeneration shouldn't be as high, but also he might have way too much HP to be able to get killed. Once he finishes off AC, that's going to be extra armor as well, something that he needs, sitting at 16 armor right now. But also, this is pretty much the classic Bristleback, and this is also last big Bristleback.
Ame's Blinkens was pop, but another Sonic Wave that really doesn't do much. XXS, how do they kill XXS? I mean, this guy has 4,000 health. He's got a heart. I don't really see his health going down. It is literally stayed at the same spot the entire time. Yang is in pretty deep. This Earth Splitter's not going to have much impact this time around. But when the BKB pops, or he's going to make the jump forward, he's going to be caught, and they get the kill. He is dead for 75, and with no Queen of Pain, life just gets so much more difficult for Vici. And the side of Xtreme don't have to leave.
Something we said at the start of the game, that Queen of Pain was pretty much getting every single power rune up until, I believe, 12-minute mark. And ever since then, it's been pretty much XM who's been picking them up and controlling the tempo of the game. Kaya Sanj, Parasma, Whisper of the Dread, as well as Storm Spirit with Mystical. Pretty much everything you want to have. And again, 3Q, gonna drop the wards.
One for a tier 3 top.
Sieging the tower.
Lightning in, Shackle connected, Paparazzi standing still, but the Echo Sun comes in, they've got the totem, they've got the follow-up damage, but XM's gonna pop the BKB. They'll get the Kona Zing too, but Paparazzi committed in, and he is dead. They buy back on the Shadow Shaman. They do have buyback available on this Spectre, but it's just not something that they really want to use, but they cannot wait 70 seconds to have this Spectre on the sidelines. So he'll buy back, pushing back that Nullifier if he even gets to it. And they are on the Mega Creep. UI caught out of position. Up onto the high ground. Shackle and there again, and that should be another kill, this time for XXS. Sonic Wave connects. Ame's dead once more, but he's not really the problem. They can kill this Drow 1,000 times, but when you've got a Bristle that literally doesn't lose life, they don't really care if you kill the Drow. They'll go for more. They'll find Taka. Yang's dead. 3 heroes gone. Down goes the Shadow Shaman again, but the Shadow step forward from Paparazzi as XM, he is still alive. The buyback committed from Taka. Paparazzi's actually here in the trees. Or he jumped forward and he's just dead. GG is called. Xtreme will take game number 1. Vici for a moment had hope, but that was ripped away real quick.
Oh, XM and XXS carrying this game pretty damn hard. They had some Simeon Stride. I want to see the other facet in action. Like, I think it has some potential. It's just that it's nowhere as good compared to the previous one.
And why is that?
I mean, the previous one allowed you to get pushed out, getting kicked out of Wukong's command, come back, you die, Wukong stays for 4 seconds. This one, like the one that he didn't choose, is the one that allows you to, like inside Wukong's, to become one of the statues, become invulnerable, and then you spawn at that place. which is kind of okay for like juking purposes, but still haven't seen it being utilized. Ori gonna place down Observer Ward in the mid lane.
Yeah, this time he has the obs in the mid lane. I think last game Xtreme were the ones who controlled the vision there, but they're going to throw down a relatively decent ward here. I like this one, placed by XM. Will actually be in vision when the smoke does break. Both teams are actually in some vision here. Obs up on the high ground there for the side of Vici. Maybe they get a kill onto the Dark Will, but immediately into the Shadow Realm. Trying to throw some damage on the Kaka, and everything missed.
Uphill.
that was... I thought I saw that wrong for a second when he took 0 damage with 3 things flying at him. That was crazy. Okay. Math Master, if you can do some odds on that and what just happened, him not getting hit by any of those projectiles, that would be great.
He got the old school luck. That's how
Fair.
they are. I'm
Fair to
looking
break
at
it
the
down to
bottom
that.
lane. Yang, he has Magic Wand as his starting item. Not sure if I like it too much. Like, this is the stats build that you get from, like, the most amount of stats. Because you have 3 branches, you have Magic Wand, and Tidehunter makes you super tanky. But this is also not a lane where you're going to be spamming any of the spells. I don't think you're going to be getting the value out of it completely. Monkey King, he started with the Boundless Strike. Silencer is also not a hero that spams by any means. So we'll see how that's going to be played out. I would prefer if that's, one smaller item, like some of the stats for Bracer. Because you're definitely going to be needing the region, and you also need boost speed. You need your phase boots, you need your wind lace in this matchup. Blood Grenade, DY.
Taking so much damage early on from this Silencer. Yeah, I don't know how I feel. I kind of agree with you. A stats wand isn't exactly what I think is going to be amazing.
It is very good against certain matchups, especially in the side lanes, of course, because there's going to be 2 heroes, so you will be spamming the spells. Ori already getting the treatment in the mid lane.
Yeah, not exactly having a comparable time to the previous game. XM going to be dominating here with this Viper for now. But bottom lane, you can still see the problems. Mid lane, XM. Ori, he's going to get that water rune, but you can see he's got a Viper on his tail.
Miss
and
again on the uphill. This team has been blessed by Gaben. They're like, we got to give them something. They've been missing in action for a good 2 years. Ori will need to find a way how to play this lane.
He already swashbuckled, and he's playing on the Radiant side of the map. He tries to pull this creep wave all the way over, but this is now the long run. All the way back. We'll have a bottle getting delivered, but it's not comfortable for this Pangolier at all.
As expected. I mean, you're playing against Viper, you're playing against XM Viper, you're playing melee against Viper. None of these things do feel good.
Yeah. Ame is in trouble bottom, while top lane they go for Kaka. They get killed a DY to get Kaka, and now they look over Paparazzi. Looked for a second that they were going to maybe get a kill on Ame as they body blocked with the Phoenix, but they didn't have the damage. I mean, it's not exactly crazy damage here from a Phoenix and a Tidehunter.
Same thing
And Yang
happened in
even
game
getting
one.
pushed back further.
I think they're syncing nicely, syncing up with each other. They're getting a kill in the side lane at the same time. 3 minutes in, they pick up both Lotuses. This is also very interesting from Ame, getting Null Talisman as his item. Ame has been obsessed with Null Talisman, I swear. When he was playing Jug, when he was trying to make Jug work for good, 6 tournaments in a row, there had to be 1 or 2 games of Jug. Always Null Talisman.
Ramble Maze down, Zinq low, not gonna die. Yeah, Ame tried to make that Jug work for a while. I think there was that, I mean, it was during TI, right? Where they had the conversation with, I think the coach at the time was Maps. And he said something along the lines of, Ame wanted Jug, so we gave him Jug, and Jug was not in the meta at all.
And he's been doing that for pretty much every single Dream League. XM trying to Get a solo kill on Ori here, pushing him out. There is Water Rune available. XM, he's going to start running towards that one. He needs to be careful. Ori has boots of speed, but so does XM.
Oh. Getting very low. Has to sip on that bottle as XM, man. He is putting the hurt onto Ori, who will get another couple of sips on that bottle thanks to the bounty rune. Even TPing back over to mid to try and just sneak in a last hit, but only getting one. Now a double stack on the creep waves here for XM, and he'll control up this creep wave and be very happy about where he sits. 22 and 15 to the 13 and 1 of Ori. And we say this every time we see it. You know it's going bad when the denies of your enemy in your lane are higher than your last hits.
I'm not sure where he's going. He might be going to try to steal enemy bounty rune if it's still there, but it seems like it's not, so... Ori... Oh, it is there. Never mind.
Map bug. Didn't look like it was there on our view. Yang. He is tanky enough to get away and not die too much. And now the shackles come through. DUI's top. And XXS feeling vulnerable in the early parts of this game, but that is going to be a trade on a DUI. It might even be a kill on a Kaka. As that is a very dead Shadow Shaman. And Pelosin getting the kill and getting the +1 on the brain drain.
Before they are getting BKBs, before they're getting any kind of dispels, they're playing against Green Bristleback, which is insane amount of slow. You get hit by 2 Nasal Goo, it's gonna slow you by so much, and then 1 hit from Viper, you're basically not gonna be able to move.
Haste on XXS. Meanwhile, XM coming around the block. Ori's only level 4. Is right now technically 2 levels behind, but he is 1 last hit away from getting to level 5.
Yeah, you gotta make it sound more dramatic.
Yeah, that's my job.
Always the drama queen, like in real life as well.
Okay, come on. What do you mean? I'm not a drama queen. What are you talking
something
about?
that drama queen would say. Exactly.
Exactly. How do I deny being a drama queen? If saying I'm not a drama queen is a drama queen thing to say, then wouldn't say I'm a drama king, if anything. Yang just standing here, kind of hoping that he gets more out of the lane. He's 35 and 3. He's having a fun time. It's not terrible for him at all. Net worth, not exactly amazing though when you compare to the Bristleback. But they have opted to leave this tide alone, and I will say 7.5 minutes in, when it says 2,000 to 3,000 net worth ahead, things don't exactly seem amazing for the side of Vici.
I love your math segments.
What do you mean?
You see 2-3K, 8 minutes in. That's pretty much GG. Ame getting initiated on in the bottom lane, but Pango's still level 5. Needed 1 CS for level 6. Gonna get stunned and probably killed here. And they're gonna be able to find him. 1 more slow. Ori.
Shadow Realm Strike. Ori doesn't have the mana for a swashbuckle. Zinq will continue the chase, but XM gives up and will actually head back towards mid, and Zinq by himself says, I don't need a Viper. I'm going to get the kill on my own. All right. Well, lands the Bramble Maze, gets the kill on Ori, and now he is quite high, almost level 7.
Solo XP. And we'll try to go and play around Ursa. Paparazzi is level 6, not the easiest hero to kill. Silencer, how's he looking?
Ooh, DY.
5.5 DY.
Arcane Curse. Not going to be enough. Was close, but just enough to survive and not give up another brain drain here to Pelosin. You go to the Rolling Thunder, the Viper Strike comes in. You have the Shackle and the control, but the damage isn't there. The Ravage committed even there, as they've got the Hex now. Everything in the kitchen sink thrown to get a kill on an XM. As Pelosin tries to turn this around with an Arcane Curse and some help as Xingqiu comes over, but he doesn't have a lot of mana to play with, so Bramble Maze is a little bit late, but eventually connects onto the Shadow Shaman with the Bedlam. They'll at least get a trade, but a good kill onto XM overall for Vici.
This is what you do to Viper after, like, he was so close to getting kills on Pangolier. He needs that one extra hit of slow to be able to connect, because one is most of the time not enough to slow you down and be able to run down and get the extra slows as well. But this also might be the first game that I've seen in a long time that one team has 3 null talismans. There's one on Dark Willow, one on Monkey King, and also one on Bristleback.
The item's back. It's a good item now. I'm a little bit scared, Lacoste. Vanguard already, XXS. Having a free lane again. He died that one time, but he is top of the net worth. Uh-oh. Terrorize, Bedlam, solo target, DY. Not going to make it out, and Xingqiu's having one of those games where he is 5-0-1 on the Dark Willow.
Having a blast of a game. This is also a very good Yule Scepter game, but seems like he wants to pick up Blink Dagger. I think eventually he's going to get it, but you're playing against Ursa. It's a great way of setting up your spells, and also a great way of fighting against Ursa. Ursa did lose the tower, not the most important thing, but didn't die a single time. I think that's what matters for Paparazzi compared to the previous game. Even though in terms of network he's not doing the greatest, you can still recover nicely, and you can see the power of this Dark Willow against Pangolier, making his life pretty much miserable. Ori still struggling, sitting at 3,000 net worth. Xingqiu almost has the same amount of farm.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal for Ori. A complete difference from game number 1. What I will say is the side of Vici, if they can get a fight in which they get 1 or 2 heroes, they do have an opportunity to go for a very early rush.
They do. And there's a lot of damage on their side. You can basically do it with Ursa +1, or you can do it with Shadow Shaman. Like, if you're taking a good fight, you kill 1 hero. Pretty much Roshan belongs to them if they're going to be nearby. Also to point out, Ame, his item build, he is going for no boots, no points in Jingu, just straight up farm with his Primal Spring and straight into Radiance. And this is going to be 12-minute Radiance.
Oh? Oh? Okay. Okay, Ame. Not exactly what I was expecting, but sure. I mean, that
I love
feels
this build. Radiance
amazing.
into Obs, into TP Clarity, into another Obs. He wants to be setting things up as Monkey King. Make sure that he has enough vision. But yeah, Radiance is such a great item in this patch. Like, the way camps have been changed, the camps have been moved, it does feel you can always farm 2 camps at the same time.
Rolling Thunder coming through and looking for Pelosin. They will get a kill here onto the Silencer, but now the multiple TPs coming through for the side of Xtreme Gaming. They go to the Rabbit. That'll land on a 3. Supernova's there. And down goes the Dark Will for the first time. XM, he is dead too. 3 heroes gone. XXS, he is as unkillable as he was last game. I mean, the chase is on, but XXS eventually falls to DY, and 4 kills for the side of Vici.
What a great team fight. Ame, I'm not sure if he did not have TP ready, but it seems like he did not want to participate in that fight.
No TP ready at the time.
Yeah, has been on the courier, and good ways to, like, you have Rolling Thunder, you get it off before they get the global silence. You have Egg, and you also have Tidehunter ulti, so a lot of team fights, a lot of protection for both of your supports. This is something that I mention quite often, something that China always kind of like to have, is having protection for their own supports, especially with the Tidehunter Shadow Shaman combination, because Shadow Shaman usually is the vulnerable one. If he's getting jumped, but if you have Tidehunter, that changes quite a lot of things, especially pre-BKB. which means that you are going to get stunned. And now the game is pretty even. Paparazzi about to finish off his Battle Fury.
You talked about it.
Yeah. This
Paparazzi not dying and getting farmed this time around.
This lineup will definitely scale in terms of how well they're going to be able to team fight. You mentioned Roshan, objective taking. Like, that's why Ursa is so popular. He can pretty much solo kill Roshan. He can solo kill Tormentor.
Let's see when they want to go for it, though. He's got he's going Battle Fury Blink Dagger for the Ursa, which is a little bit interesting.
What's interesting about it?
I don't know. Just, we'll see, you know, if he wanted something other than just the movement for the blink. If he wanted to go something different, I don't know. Interesting to me. Just wants to blink into the fight.
What do your Ursas usually get? Nothing.
I don't know. They don't have Battle Fury at this point, I'll tell you that. They're still farming.
This is pretty standard. Blink into BKB. Then think about Basher, maybe Nullifier.
The Stun Ray, they'll burn him out. Let's see. Ame wants to go in, finds the Boundless, but goes back up into the tree while they use the Global Silence. Wukong's right on a Paparazzi, but the damage not being dealt. Supernova's there again, and it is not going to explode. They get it in the nick of time, and Kaka and DY are both dead to Xtreme.
I guess Ame opting to go for Radiance. He is playing into Ursa matchup, so wants to have carry-to-carry matchup in his favor, having that miss chance. Which is nice, but also at one point, I guess he's just not going to buy boots on the hero. Like, Power Treads is such a good item in general. This is something that, like, if you could get it from offlane most of the time, it would feel good. Carries are blessed that they can buy this item. This item pretty much gives you everything, but he's completely skipping it, going into BKB immediately after.
Hex and the Shackle. They'll get a kill on XM. Meanwhile, they've got the Big Boy Ward.
And you also have Big Boy Dormant Curio. 4 in this game. Everybody wants to scale, both supports on Xtreme Gaming and both supports on Vici.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
You like Dormant Curio?
Might be slightly overrated. I think the item is strong. It's just some of the combination are really, really good, and this is something we talked about. As long as they can get a pick off near Roshan, they should be able to kill Roshan. Or he's gonna even use roll just to make sure that Roshan belongs to them.
Yeah, Paparazzi getting his hands onto that Aegis. That early objective taking was something that we had talked about. They are chasing. They want to terrorize. Lands on the 2. They'll take up the Aegis. They're still looking for more. And now the Ravage comes through. Ame's dead. But can they get another kill here as they go to the Global Silence? The Supernova pops, but down goes Paparazzi for the second time. Kaka, he'll fall 2. That's going to be 3 dead on the side of Vici. Overall, not a bad fight here for Xtreme, despite the fact that they lose the Monkey King.
Again, Ame has been used as a bait successfully. Same thing happened in game number 1 multiple times. Rest of the team ready to clean up. This is the combo that I wanted to see. Like we were seeing it first time, 18 minutes into the game. Bristleback and Viper getting paired up together, getting that extra bit of a flow. Get Arcane Curse on top of somebody. They're not going to move. 100 move speed pretty much, and then you can just run them down. But Ame decided to go for boots. Like, if you look at this item build right now, you can post it on Reddit and be like, guess the hero DI Qualifier's edition. Because this doesn't say anything. This looks like actual grief if you look at the items. Brown boots, Sage Mask in the backpack, Branch, and Brigand's Blade. I'm just trying to think which hero would buy these items.
You gotta also say it in which order it was bought too.
I could see Bloodseeker buying these items, but you also can't have brown boots like this being Phase boots or treads would feel much nicer. Same goes for Kunkka, but Kunkka doesn't buy into null. Bloodseeker had mana issues in the previous patch. Probably Zeus in some bracket at one point did buy these items.
My bracket.
Yeah, some Herald Zeus did go and
Okay.
be like, okay, I saw this Radiance and Spectre. It's really good. It must also work on Zeus. But back to the game. Let's see how they're going to be able to find another opportunity like this. Global Silence coming off cooldown in 5 seconds.
Could have a chance to fight. I mean, doing that thing that he does, like you mentioned, he's the bait as everybody else is able to survive and put the damage on. BKB being built here for the Viper, and they are smoked up going through the Twin Gate, maybe looking for an opportunity to use Ame here as the Vision Seeker. They are coming through, maybe expecting them to go for the Tormentor, and Ame's ready, but...
I believe they saw the Radiance burn.
Yeah, they backed away immediately. They don't back that far away, but now Paparazzi with that Blink Dagger, he's able to back up, now going for the BKB. So immediately backs away, and they were gonna go for that Tormentor, look for another objective, but that ends up getting taken by Xtreme and gives Pelosi the shard. So the Brain Drain gets upgraded. Steal even more of that mana. Could end up being a little bit problematic for Tidehunter if he loses a bit more on that Brain Drain. They're gonna take 3 here from Kaka though. And another kill on the Shadow Shaman.
Finishes one big item, immediately buys Observer Ward, has one more queued up.
That's the new trend. I think all cores should think about buying obses for themselves like that. How close is Paparazzi to this BKB? All right. Not terribly close. But getting there. Give him a little bit of space. He'll have it soon enough. They're not set just yet. They do have this Global Silence. XM does come through towards bottom. XXS and Xinku are here, so the trio of X's are ready to go if anybody were to show themselves. The side of Vici are on the other side of the map, and as Ame continues to just farm max here over towards top, they start to rotate, and he kind of senses that and immediately goes towards bottom to join the rest of his team.
With the Facet, Simeon Stride, you have 0 cooldown on your jump, so you can pretty much be anywhere on the map. Also does have level 15 talent, allows him to jump even further. But he's staying on top of the trees this whole time. Not getting too much farm.
And get himself top of the net worth. He does come out of the trees a little bit, but it's starting to give me vibes of like Necro Cliff Radiance. He could just stay in the trees. Just sit there and Radiance burn. Never really needs to come down.
What is this strat you're talking about? You combine two of the strats. MP, all right, hold that taut. Ursa getting silenced.
Yeah, he's going to have to run, but Ame with BKB, they're going to look for Paparazzi. Now they've got the Shackle, they have the Rolling Thunder. They're going to turn this around, and Xinku goes into the Shadow Realm. But even inside the Shadow Realm, the Rolling Thunder does the connection and gets the kill with the Shield Crash. Ori at least getting that one onto the Dark Willow. And Ori is quietly on this mega kill streak, despite the fact that the game has felt like Xtreme have really been in the driver's seat.
Ame's having too much fun. They definitely lack some damage. They brought only 2 heroes plus the Global Silence, but they also need something else to be able to kill this Ursa. He's actually not getting that much farm. He's just jumping. He got 2 creeps from the previous wave. Let's see if he's going to be able to stack this triangle. But talk to me about this strat, this Necro on the cliff.
You remember the old Radiance Cliff strat back in the day?
I remember Nature's Prophet on the cliff, and I remember Necrophos farming with Aura in the triangle when it worked on Ancients. But I don't remember Necro sitting on a cliff with radiance. That sounds horrible. How do you get up in the first place, and how do you get down?
Yeah, you get up there with your blink that you've bought with your, your gold. Maybe I am mixing two strats together. It's early in the morning, Lacoste. I just remember my brother trying all these strats. He was the one who did this in games.
And where is he right now? He's a pilot, right? That's the brother you're talking about?
Yeah.
He's like, my full potential in Dota has been unlocked. Now it's time to move to something else. I achieved everything that I could in this video game. Played Necro,
stay on the cliffs in game.
On a cliff with Blink Dagger. It's time
stay
to move
on the cliff in games and avoid cliffs in real life. It just, oof. Yeah, I was combining two strats here, but for the Monkey King with the Radiance, it's the sit in the trees and burn them away strat. There it is. I came up with something. Coined by Ame. Also known as the tree burn.
It is
still
a lot
top of the net
clicking,
worth.
and it's also a nightmare for our observers to follow him.
Yeah, the Simian Stride does not make it easy. Roche in that potential spawn window. Ursa got that BKB. Yes, he did. He's looking for the shard. Does have the gold for it if he wants to buy out on it. Oh, it's just this tree over in the bottom lane. I wonder what it is. Ame, he's here for the 8 p.m. The amount of buttons clicking to move around here with the Simian Stride. He's up, he's down, he's back up, he's back down, he's hitting, he's balance striking. He's here for the 8 p.m. That's all I can be said.
Game did slow down.
Yeah,
Vici Gaming,
pretty
we've
quiet.
been following Ame for the last 5 minutes. Time to focus on other heroes as well. Ursa finished off his BKB, is going into Shard. So that's going to be his way of dispelling things early, which I really like. Now he swaps it immediately after I say it.
By the way, DY's got Guardian Greaves already.
Yeah,
No
I
charges
like
on the
that one.
urn.
Did lose
But
some of
he's
the
got
mana early to Silencer and opted to go for mana boots. But he knew that he's going for Guardian Greaves, wants to get rid of Silence again. The spell mechanic in this game is too valuable. Would love to see some Lotus Orbs and stuff, if they can farm them. Ori has been recovering nicely. Blink Dagger, Aghanim Scepter,
Diffusal.
Diffusal Blade, yeah.
All smoked, all through the Twin Gate, trying to find a fight, knowing that Roche is potentially up, and it is up. Ramble Maze, Force Staff, moving away. The Gush lands on XXS, but he still continues to run at Ori, who will swashbuckle up onto the high ground. Quickly out of the 5 stacks of Viscous Nasal Goo, but it won't matter. They'll disengage, but you gotta be pretty weary about Xtreme looking to take Roche. And even that take on Roche is not that easy, as they could just go try to blink Ravage. They've got 5,500 gold here on Monkey King, so Ame saving up the money and spending it. There it is. The double ulti orb purchase.
Very
Ready
expensive.
for that Eye of Scotty.
35, all stats. In terms of stopping the healing, there isn't really that much other than Sunray. I mean, he does have a Guardian Greaves, which is also fine, but I think it's more about slow and also about him being more survivable. Immediately to the top lane. Roshan is alive in the top pit. I think this time around, they should not let Vici Gaming try to take it. Ame needs to be with the rest of the team. Their lockdown is also a bit limited, something that Vici Gaming did lack in game number 1. Now they have Boundless Strike and they have Ramble Maze, but that's about it. A lot of other slows.
Smoke from both teams once again, and back to the same spot in which they missed each other in the last attempt. Vici, though, looking for an opportunity. It's going to be Kaka and DY towards the front, but they're going to go to the Viper Strike and the Paparazzi. Ori with the Rolling Thunder already expended, and this feels like another, hey, we met each other, we used a couple of ults, let's back away. Smokes, at least initially,
They know without Rolling Thunder, their team fight is still strong. Tidehunter has Blink Dagger, DY level 2 Supernova. So now they're going to pop Roshan's Roar and maybe try to bait with it. Ame. In the trees.
He doesn't need to be in the
out.
pit. Runray on XXS. Burning him a little bit. XM, though, throws that Nether Toxin up onto the high ground. That'll force DY to move. Balance Strike lands on a Paparazzi. Does have that Enrage, does have that BKB ready to go if he wants to make a move on anybody, but there's the Bramble Maze, and now they're thinking about going to the Ravage, but the BKB is going to be popped by XM. They go to the Global Silence. They'll look over at Paparazzi. Supernova to try and protect this Ursa, who's now TPing out. Or stops the TP. He was TPing out, and now he's going to try and run, but they are going to lose DY? No. He's able to Icarus dive away for the moment. The Radiant's burning, but not going to be on top of him as he'll TP away. Did anybody die?
No. Just kidding. Testing things out, how strong we are. Rolling Thunder is coming off cooldown, but they need to push out this bottom lane.
What?
It's been pushed heavily to tier 3 tower. Not enough lockdown. This is such a nicely timed global silence from Polosun, where Tidehunter blinked in and was unable to get the Ravage off. He was ready for that immediately. But again, they're not focusing the same target. Ame, he did not commit with his BKB. Jumping from the trees.
I'm a little surprised. But they're able to survive on both teams. Again, thinking about Roche, but back into the pit. He'll walk over. Game's been sitting close in terms of net worth thus far.
Yeah, we haven't seen more than 3k gold lead.
No.
For the last like 10, maybe even 15-ish minutes.
But now even, and honestly, the fact that Roche hasn't been taken is a little bit of a surprise. Still looking to try and fight. Ame still moving forward. DY going to be caught. Balance Strike is there, but the 4 staffs trying to get DY out. The Icarus dive, and he'll find some space. Pops those Guardian Greaves, and he's able to survive once again. This is opening up more time for Paparazzi to just continue to farm. He's now level 20.
Limited amount of lockdown. They have no abilities that go through debuff immunity. Sure, you can use Viper Strike, you can go with Silence, but you can't really stop this from BKB and keeping out. Poison.
Rolling Thunder. They'll find themselves a kill. They get the kill into the Dark Will. They look for the Wukong's command from Ame, but currently it's just Zone Denial and Roche being pulled out of the pit. And they're unable to finish it. Again,
No
it's
Wukong's
just not...
command. I mean, these Wukongs, they've not been getting the value out of them.
No, not really.
They're trying to take the fight, but Vici Gaming, they are running away from it. XXS, he needs to try to make something happen. Try to be annoying in their face. Ame does have BKB available if he wants to take the fight, but Paparazzi and Gigaward are going to be inside the pit.
Sunray, XXS burning a little bit. They go to the Ravage. Can they get the kill here on XXS? Yes, they can. The Global Silence is going to be a little bit late. They get the Aegis into the hands of Paparazzi. Technically a snatch to kill, I believe, from the Nether Toxin into the Viper. The look here is Polosun able to TP out, but now they've got the Shackle. That connects on XM, who will pop the BKB, but the damage coming in from Paparazzi. He'll run at XM, who's trying to get around these trees, but eventually gets caught. Vici get the better of that fight. And they are starting to find themselves a little bit of a lead.
This game is becoming rough for Xtreme Gaming. Seems like they don't have enough control to be able to kill these heroes. Wukong's command, they're running away. If they can kite long enough, and this time around, Yang, he gets the initiation. They find Bristleback. Bristle needs to be much more careful compared to the previous game where he gets leashed by Dead in the Water. Ursa is going to just eat him alive.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
He's got an Aegis now for 4 minutes. Bristle, who is much more tanky now, on his way to an AC. He's still 1,900 gold away from that, but at this point, he had a heart. He was giga farmed, and things get a little bit slower for him, and we'll see XM. He'll disconnect. They'll pause the game for Xtreme, and overall,
Kale action.
pretty close, but Vici starting to pull away with one. A lot of Gale guards in the neutral slot. Couple of shivs.
A lot of blink daggers as well. 4 blink daggers on Vici Gaming. DY is not going to buy it. But the interesting one to me is that Ame is still going for Nullifier. He's going Radiance and Nullifier, which is not the most common one. Usually you want to have some other slots, but I guess considering that he never wanted to upgrade his boots, he might be thinking that he's not going to be needing the boots as well, because you can disassemble Radiance, get the value out of it, maybe buy Butterfly and still have value, the missed chance against Ursa, because Ursa is also running out of slots. Ursa has... he actually has 0 slots right now, so we'll need to replace his boots once he picks up his upgraded Blink Dagger, and can't buy MKB because he's about to buy his Octarine Core. So playing a bit of a different build, allowing him to get the lower cooldown, and also the Dispel mechanic. I think that's the big one, playing of lower cooldown Earthshock and having the spell mechanic with the Shard.
One of the biggest things I'm noticing is the fact that XM has fallen far behind in levels of Ori. He hasn't farmed nearly as well. As the game has started, he's bottom of the net worth in cores. After dominating the lane, he has kind of fallen off a cliff when it comes to his game.
Which cliff?
He's
The one that
0-4
he
and
was
7.
farming on with Radiance and Blink, or a different cliff?
Yeah, it was. It was
I gotta
that
test
cliff.
this
He joined my brother. This was like 5 years ago, 6 years ago. It's not viable anymore. What do you mean test out the strategy?
Might be viable again. Some of the old strategies are coming back. This is just how Dota works.
You know, it was back in the day. Back in the low MMR day brackets of whatever my brother was playing. Got some vision down that spots out Paparazzi, but he is not afraid with this Aegis. Finishes off that Octarine Core, puts the Basher in the backpack for now. XM needs to find some farm. He is looking for a Manta style. He is looking for a Blink Dagger, but he is just not getting much of anything. And now the Nullifier on the Paparazzi. Ikio Primal Spring on. Ramble Maze, Yules, and Wukongs for the BKB. And the Balance Strike again, just another Wukong's extended for 0 results. Terrorize.
They got him.
That lands. So now, all of a sudden, maybe this Ursa's a little vulnerable. They do have Supernova. They do have Ravage with the Rolling Thunder coming through from Ori. They go to the Supernova. The Global Silence comes out. They go to the Boundless Strike. They're looking to get the egg. They get the kill on a DY. They'll end up losing Zincu, but now the Rolling Thunder coming through again. Here comes the Ravage. XM is dead. They'll take out Pelosin, but down goes Paparazzi. He's dead for 80. The Giga Ward is there. Ame trying to fight here with XXS. The Balance Strike gets him some health with the
Big Lotus.
But now, can he survive? Can he look for more? Can he pop this Lotus? He will. But Taka taking some damage to XXS. This Giga Ward doing some decent damage onto this Bristle, but not enough. And now Ame is going to be able to Primal Spring away. They pick up the gem that they drop, but it ends up being a 3 for 3.
I don't know about this Basher. I mean, this is usually the Ursa item, but right now you're playing into Radiance. It just feels like you might need to get it. It's also the fact that they did pick up Nullifier, Scotty, and they also have Break from Viper. So basically, Ursa doesn't work. This bear has been broken. It means that Fury Swipes, they don't work because they are breakable. And also, your Overpower gets nullified, which means that, what do you have? You have Earthshock and Enrage. These are the 2 abilities that you have. It's not like you have this permanently, but in the middle of a fight, you're going to get heavily focused.
For sure. The thing that they've been doing that's kind of compensating for that is XM has been dying very quickly and early in these fights. So maybe he's not getting the Viper Strike off, but all he needs is a split second of some free time to really hurt this Ursa's fight.
And speaking of break mechanics as well, Shadow Shaman has been level 15 for quite some time, level 17 now. A lot of good things to break in this game. Bristleback, Viper, even Monkey King, so he can get the Jingu off. He's going for more damage on Ame. I would also love Ame to pick up Dasher / Abyssal Blade, because they definitely lack control. Like every single Wukong's command, everybody is running away.
Yeah, there hasn't really been a Wukongs in which they've held heroes down. It's been more so a zone denial strat or usage. It hasn't felt great. Did force the early BKB though from the Ursa, which allowed them to continue to chase though.
Okay. Looking at what Ursa has in his quick buy. Overwhelming Blink. So wants to jump in, create chaos. They don't have that many Blink daggers. Like, it's very annoying for you to play against Overwhelming Blink. Cancels your Blink dagger, you can't blink out for such a long time. It's also extra bit of a slow. I guess he just wants to be super annoying, but I think he's also going to get kited. This build, when, I don't know when this happened, maybe like a year and a half, 2 years ago, when people did go for Octarine Cord, Shard, Aghanim Scepter, and Wind Waker build, it did allow you to become pretty much unkillable. We'll see about that one.
But not currently, or it doesn't feel like that as much. 17 all, 38 minutes into the game, and looking at DY's progression. He wants Shiva's Guard, but he only has 500 gold, so that is a pipe dream. We'll see if he gets it. Ags now for this silencer, by the way. Pelosin getting that upgrade on the global silence, applying that arcane curse. Some good damage. And even more to think about, too.
It is very annoying because you can't blink. We already pointed out that they have 4 blinks. Sure, they have the spells, but overall, it is very annoying for you to start a fight if you're getting initiated on like mobile. Or right now, Vici Gaming looking for something, looking for an opportunity, maybe get a pick off.
Would have to start potentially with a Ravage, but they aren't going to find anybody with this smoke. Another smoke by Vici. I mean, both these teams haven't exactly had smokes go according to plan. Has not entirely worked out for him. Missing that smoke now puts the game back at even, gives some time here for Ame, who's picked up this Daedalus. Finally have this Manta on XM, but he is still lowest on the cores in terms of net worth. They want the BKB on Yang. They need these BKBs to really kind of deal with what Xtreme are throwing, maybe the global silence as well, so they can kind of maybe find a fight. But the ones who smoke this time around are the side of Xtreme Gaming. Can they find anything? Paparazzi, he is not completely alone. Lion Warrior nearby. They go to the global silence. Is going to put the arcane curse onto these heroes. They're trying to get the kill here onto this Pangolier, and they'll take him out. The Terrorize thrown over. That lands on the DY. It goes into the supernova. They're going to buy back. They go to the Ravage. The right clicks from XXS to try and get this egg. With the Dark Willow, they'll take out DY. Do lose this silencer. The Wukong's command again. The balance strike connects onto this Shadow Shaman. They'll take out Kaka. Ame gets the kill there. But XM standing his ground. Paparazzi's dead at the cost of XM. They'll take out Xingqiu. It ends up being a 3-for-3 so far. The TP attempt out, but XXS has the damage to kill off Yang. And that will be technically a full team wipe as they bought back on this Pangolier.
Finding Ori immediately and then killing him with global silence. Sure, Phoenix tries to save him. Guardian Greaves immediately goes for the Sunray, but he's also going to be staying relatively close. So they jump him, they kill the egg. I love that Bristle finds the opportunity. XXS recognizing what needs to be done in the middle of that fight. And now it seems like it's way too much, like way too many items that they do have. We've seen Vici Gaming execute their team fight like twice this game properly, especially the one in the bottom at the start where they used Ravage, Egg, but so far Xtreme Gaming has managed to not fall into the same trap multiple times. Roshan will be alive in the bottom pit. It's going to take another 35-40 seconds. Also, in terms of scaling, Bolison, with this Aghanim Scepter, he can stay further away from the fight, get the Refresher as his next item. We're going to see the fight again, where Ori just doesn't have enough. Ursa also doesn't feel quite comfortable jumping in. You can see that Kaka is also relatively far away. And this Ravage, sure, it connects on a couple of targets, but they immediately pop the BKB. Kaka couldn't blink in immediately, and at that point, the fight is pretty much over. They're gonna go in Shadow Shaman again. Ursa's getting kited. Viper's not even gonna die. Okay, I didn't even see this. Curse Crown from Dark Willow, stunning both of them.
Yeah, this Xingqiu Dark Willow has felt very, very good for them. Started 5-0-1 in the game, but is now only 6-7-9. That early start, though, offered them a lot. Had a quick 6. Able to use Terrorize quite a bit to their advantage. Oh, see, right, it's the paparazzi push strat. Or staff down to the low ground. They go into the global silence. Wukong's around all these heroes. Balance Strike comes in. Yang's gonna die. They've already taken up the Tide Hunter. He doesn't have buyback, and now paparazzi on the run. The Viscous Nasal Goo, or you thinking about coming through, but he'll end up just backing away.
I've been saying this for a long time. Professional e-gamers just getting this strat from lower ranks. Now swing ranks from Heralds, going with Radiance on the cliff. I mean, they do have Wukong's command on top of that, but if it's working, it is not stupid. Roshan does belong to them. Ame's gonna pick it up. Ame also has Aghanim Scepter. I just pick up Aghanim Scepter upgrade, get that blessing, reveal the slot, Refresher Orb as well available. Ame, even though he's been, like, some of the builds that he did have, been kind of mean, in this game, it's working out. Radiance, Nullifier, all these items great against Ursa. We talked about break mechanic on top of that as well. And something to point out that he has Scotty, and there's also Crossbow on Viper, which is reducing the healing coming out by an insane amount. It's also a great amount of slow. Don't worry. But the Refresher, he needs to get the good jump. He needs to get that first jump.
Link, big award. That's all down. Yules, though, from Xingqiu. That's going to come through on the Shadow Shaman, trying to stop that control that they have. They'll take it the Aegis. They'll restart with that. The Viper Strike comes through from XM. The Rolling Thunder is going to be around them. They're going to the Wukong's command, but now they need to leave this circle. Ori, ooh, getting hit up pretty hard, even within the roll.
Ahmed did not want to use his BKB nor Refresher. Both of them were kind of coming off cooldown. Refresher shard coming from the back, so he had a cooldown. Gets that Wukong's. It also means that he has BKB, double BKB actually, plus potentially Wukong's, and you might even have double Wukong's for the next fight. It's just very difficult for you to take the fight if he's getting the Wukong, if he's getting the BKB. There's not much that works through BKB on the other side, and you only have one set of barracks left. They can still take the tier 2 tower in the top lane, and this is where the problem starts when they start sieging with the Wukong's command. You'll always have an opportunity to end the game, no matter what kind of heroes they have on the enemy side. If we're talking about some tossbacks, skewer backs, this time they don't have it, but they have an overwhelming team fight. It's still going to be very difficult to fight into Wukong's, even double Wukong's.
It's very tough to fight into the Ame Monkey King, especially now with the amplified damage. Not sure they're going to be looking to fight just yet.
Looking at these numbers, the one that stands out the most is Ursa, sitting at 12,000 in the 45 minutes.
Yeah, you're really expecting a lot more from an Ursa, but hasn't really been given the opportunities to do so.
Ame's just going in.
Yeah, he's pretty far. They go to the global silence. They go to the refresher. The balance strike lands on the Yang, who's never even able to get that Ravage off. So he's forced to buy back. They landed the Terrorize. It's on a Paparazzi. He is going to be dead. Everyone going to be forced to buy back. They go to the Giga Ward, but they can't stand within this Wukong's. They're going to get another kill on Akaka. 4 heroes are already dead, but 3 have bought back. As they will stand their ground for now. Ori, he needs to bail. They go to the Ravage. Maybe they get a kill onto Ame, but he's able to Boundless Strike and get away. Oh, with a little bit of health, they'll look for Paparazzi. That's a dead Ursa for the second time. Not much they can do. They've nullified this Tide Hunter, and they'll call GG. Xtreme game, taking a 2-0 over Vici, completing the full team wipe there.
And Ursa's 30 swipes, they stay on you for such a long time, but really like